Ultimate MK Podquest.
How was the race? We haven't had any F1 talk in a bit.
It was okay. Max won his home Grand Prix, which is pretty cool. The crowd was one of the most fucking off the walls things I've ever seen. I've never seen that many people that excited about one person ever. It was
really?
Truly nuts. Better than last week where it was raining so hard that they did 2 laps under the safety car and then gave half points and told everybody to fuck off and go home. So, you know, there was no F1 updates because they had the summer break. So
Right.
we only just got back to the thick of it. This was the first race because last week I'm not counting. It was a bit of a shit show. But so it's been about a month anyway. So not a lot to update on, but keeping an eye on it. I do have a terrible drink. I'm gonna do this one really fast. I've been sitting on this for a while.
It's been a minute.
Extra caffeine Diet Coke extra infused blackberry. That all sounds pretty bad.
Oh my god, that's the new part, the blackberry. Because you did one of these before, didn't you? A Coke extra.
It was toasted vanilla. I've also been. It's been brought to my attention that there is Canada-specific Coke flavors getting around in the city somewhere. I haven't seen them in a store yet, but as soon as I do, clock's ticking on my own health because I'm gonna have to drink that on this show. This doesn't communicate a very strong smell to me, and I don't know if it's good or bad.
They say it's blackberry?
Infused blackberry.
Okay.
Get it right.
My bad.
Yeah.
Sorry. My apologies to the Coca-Cola
company
conglomerate.
My apologies to the Coca-Cola Kaibatsu, famous from Tekken.
Yeah.
Oof.
So I'm just gonna drink this, I guess. Maybe it'll wake me up. It's no sugar, no calories, all caffeine, all the time.
So you guys know that Coca-Cola actually paid mercenaries to kill workers in South America, right?
Yeah, I did know that, and also their drinks are bad. What the fuck is this?
It's hard. It's like I'm trying to it's been really hard to buy foods lately because it's like the Nabisco is on strike, and so is Frito-Lay's on strike. I'm like, what the fuck can I eat now? So I'm a filthy, unhealthy boy, so I can't eat almost 90% of the foods I want to eat. So how was the drink?
Oh, it's shit. It's shit bad. It's not good. It's
What's the mouthfeel?
Bad. The mouthfeel is sort of cough medicine adjacent.
Oof.
As is the flavor profile.
Sure.
So if you wanted 2 reasons to not like the Coca-Cola company, there's all that bad stuff Damion said, and this one drink's pretty not good.
Also, they removed Coke Energy from the marketplace
of ideas. Conceptually, if you think about that anymore, they send the thought police to your house.
They just replaced it with Coke Extra, I bet.
I fucking hope not. This shit sucks ass, dude. Granted, Coke Energy wasn't better to me, but I mean,
I was about to ask if you remember.
Here's the thing, though. It's all a sliding scale. I still don't want that because, the branding's also more confusing. There is so much information on this label. Hang on. Give me a second. Look at how busy this label is.
Jesus Christ.
Is it on Discord?
Yeah,
it's on Discord.
Look at how busy that is.
Oh, yeah. What the fuck is that?
That's a lot of reading.
Yeah, it looks like it's for Coca-Cola is sponsoring some kind of boxing event. So it looks like
they fed the graphic designer nothing but Coke Extra for 2 weeks.
Yeah,
he just stayed awake the entire time.
So I'm just gonna do extremely Adam Sessler X-Play voice. This drink gets a 2 out of 5. Thank you.
Was that quieter?
Yeah, about to say it sounds all right to me.
I turned everything down.
Cool. I survived you hitting the soundboard. Big day.
Yeah.
Did you hear, Neil? Have you heard about or Corey as well? Have you guys heard of the Mountain Dew, hard Mountain Dew? They're doing alcoholic Mountain Dew.
I have. I couldn't be less interested, in all honesty. Here's the thing: we've been making alcoholic Mountain Dew at home for a decade.
It mixes well with shit. Get a pineapple liqueur and put some Mountain Dew in there. It tastes basically like Mountain Dew. You can't even taste the alcohol, which is great because it means I get drunk super fast.
I mean, I enjoy an adult beverage. pretty often. I don't need one so bad that I have to go to the store.
Red
and buy it
alert!
pre-made.
Here he is, boys. We finally got him. After all this time of searching, we found the criminal that enjoys an adult beverage.
I just
Send him to drink jail.
my vices, of course, are straight bourbon and Poison Ivy 3: The New Seduction.
Gross.
Is that a new drink? Is that a new? Is that a mixed drink? What would come into a Poison Ivy 3?
Well, you just named one of the ingredients.
Okay. Would it be what would be the base of that? Tequila based or?
The base is Greg Vaughn's sweat. I'm cutting that out.
Howard.
Now it's staying in because you said that.
No, I'm getting it right the fuck out of here. I have that power. We should introduce our guest. We have Damion Damaske back to talk about Mortal Kombat Defenders of the Realm episode, I don't know, 11?
Yeah.
I think so, yeah.
Amends.
Wow, Neil, you've checked out to that extent.
Well, here's why.
Yeah, let's not let Damion introduce himself. You're right.
Oh, wait, no. Yeah.
I'm going to act like that it wasn't my fault, actually, and say it was Neil's fault.
All right, well, you know what? I'm giving my reason now. Once we did the Warrior King crossover, my numbering on my notes got off. So, like, we're in season 3. This is episode 15 of season 3 of the podcast, but it's only episode 11 of Defenders of the Realm.
Ah, I see. It makes sense.
And then we had the Podquest episode too. So numbering's
I
all
thought
off.
you were going to say that the visceral experience of interacting with the orb in real life, which you did do, was so profound that it shook your core, and you were left without the most basic of mental functionings.
Yeah, that's a little funny. We'll go with that.
You don't have to keep it. Look, man, they're not all winners.
No, we're gonna keep it. We're gonna keep it. Damion,
I forgot about the Ron DeSantis thing, so you just mentioning that really made my head spin for a second. I was like, where's he going with this one? What a wacky podcast. Anyway,
California has the Ron DeSantis coming up soon if the recall goes through. I don't know if you heard about the California recall.
Oh boy,
it's fucking ridiculous.
Welcome to the CNN of Mortal Kombat podcast for all your latest updates.
KNN. So when I first contacted Neil to be on the show, this actually was the episode I originally chose. Was the Kabal, because I'm a huge fan of Kabal. He's one of my favorite characters. And
you must have loved Mortal Kombat 2021 then.
You know, I'll go into that, but well, kind of. Kabal is a side character, right? So, like, honestly, I kind of was okay with his portrayal in 2021 because he existed. Like, at least it was not
his soul sucked.
Oh man,
basically, yeah. He has like the only memorable line in that movie.
Corey, you just said, "Oh no!" You say that as often as you possibly can.
I said, "Oh man."
Okay.
But no, because and the thing is like at least it was like Mortal Kombat Annihilation, or they just say his name and then it doesn't show up at all. It's like it's one of the best characters, and so like and I have nostalgic for him because like he was the only character I almost beat the game with. So when I was like a kid playing SNES, I was Kabal and I actually beat the shit out of it. I killed everybody on the tower. I beat Matoro up, and then I lost to Shao Kahn. I never played that game for like years.
Fucking Shao Kahn in that game, like 3 hits and you're dead. It's insane.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. It was not fun. And I was very mad. I think I might have broken my controller actually. But the point is that the closest I ever got to was Kabal. So I think I have an imprinted on him, that character, because of that experience.
Gotcha.
And he also looks cool. I mean, he has a cool look. And so like so in the 2021 movie, the fact that he existed at all was fine. I knew he was going to be kind of a side character. I knew he wasn't going to be like he's going to have a huge arc, which segues actually into this episode. Actually, so like I said before, I'd watched this. I didn't watch all the episodes when it first aired, but this actually was one of the episodes I did see. I do remember a vivid memory of seeing this when I was a kid, and I loved it. Like, because as somebody who loves Kabal, and this is probably post me beating Mataro and almost beating the game. It was like having a whole episode literally just about him was amazing. I thought at the time as a kid, I thought, oh, they did such a great job, and I watched it now, and they kind of didn't. But we'll go into it. But at the time, like it's like a whole episode dedicated to him. It was sort of like the X-Men cartoon. I love Nightcrawler. He was my favorite character because I played the arcade game, the beat 'em up game.
Oh sure.
Yeah, and he had the best power, and because he wiped the screen. I don't know. You ever played that game, Corey? The X-Men beat 'em up?
No, I haven't.
Oh, it was sort of like, it was like Konami, was that right? Or it was like Capcom?
I'm not sure, because Konami made like Simpsons game and Ninja Turtle games, obviously. They were like the big 4-player beat 'em up company.
I should
and then I think Capcom got the license, then they did, Children of the Atom?
Yeah, that might be the one I'm talking about, actually.
Wow,
oh, no, that's
we
a fighting
have
game.
ruined
That's a fighting
SEO
game.
completely. Because you look up X-Men Arcade and it's nothing but fucking Arcade 1-Up for the whole first page of Google. Like, Jesus Christ. Like, why did we do this?
That's
It's
why you should
Konami.
use Bing. X-Men the arcade game is a Konami game released in 1992.
It's so good.
This is why we use Bing.
Except for Wolverine, it has like brown for some reason. I guess he looked like that in the comics for a little
that was
bit.
his original colors.
Yeah. So, but yeah, so I like Nightcrawler, and they had a whole episode in the '90s cartoon that was all Nightcrawler. He's not one of the main stable in that cartoon, but he's like, so that was one of my favorite episodes. So Kabal had a similar thing where it's like a character I loved from a game giving like their own. They only have one episode, but the whole episode is them.
Right.
They get to be pretty badass and cool. So
they get to show up and be shamed for being ugly.
Yeah, it's not great, but. To be fair, at least like when he took off his mask, Sonya didn't run away with her soul because she was so scared, like in the fatality.
Corey, general thoughts about this one? Because we had, if we look at like I think the Quan Chi episode was okay. Then the Orb episode with Shang Tsung was good, and we both liked it. I mean, good for this show, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and
relatively.
Then the Swords of Ilkan one was good, and we both liked it.
Relatively.
Again, good for this show. This one, I don't know, man. There's stuff I liked about it in it, but I want to get your take. I want to get a famous Corey hot take.
It's not that hot a take, I regret to inform you, but this left like very little impression on me.
Yeah.
And I just didn't care. I don't know why they decided to do this way so hard. If you get what I mean, like they lean into the shtick of it all.
Yeah.
Quite a bit, but in doing so, it's attempting to grasp for like a level of earnestness that it just cannot achieve, and it's just a really weird kind of tonal combination.
Yeah.
There's it's not like egregious. Like I'm not angry, but like if somebody put a gun to my head and was like, "Hey, you have to watch another episode of Defenders of the Realm right now. Which one is it?" I'm probably not thinking of this one. I'm probably forgetting this one ever happened.
Sure.
So
I don't know. Well, what about all that sweet organ music?
The organ stuff's extremely, extremely funny. All told, the fact that's what I mean by leading into it so hard is like, but also that like cultural references for who, because this is a show for babies.
It's for people vaguely aware that Phantom of the Opera is a thing, but don't really have any idea what it actually is.
Okay, so me, because like,
or Phantom of Paradise, maybe.
They definitely weren't doing that. I don't think. But yeah, like I don't know shit about what Phantom of the Opera actually is. I just know that it's a thing that exists in the world and people talk about it.
I mean, there's a lot of parodies of it, I think, in like cartoons, like Tiny Toons, Animaniacs, and that Simpsons, that kind of stuff. It's in the ether. For sure.
But it's just why this show, especially because it's like, so you guys got 13 of these, and you were sitting around the writer's room, and you said, we have to do a send up to Phantom of the Opera. If we don't all die, we have to.
I think it was more like, okay, we got 12 of these and we have no more ideas.
What if, and stay with me here, what if Taven was the Phantom of the Opera? And they were all like, who's that? And then they said, okay, how about this guy?
Okay, fuck it. How about Kabal? Who?
Yeah.
I think that they should have made it. I think they should have made it Cabral. But
did you mean Cabral from Mortal Kombat Conquest, the show that hasn't been made yet?
Yeah,
yeah.
I
think Taven hasn't existed yet.
The show might have been better had they invented Cabral.
Taven's eternal.
But no, yeah. So what did you think, Neil?
I don't know. There were some things I liked about it. Like the thing that I liked, which also felt really weird, was that we see civilization a little bit in this one,
and it's absolute nonsense. Like
as opposed to just wastelands. Like we've been seeing wastelands this entire series.
I'd like to make a
except in
slight
flashbacks.
argument.
Sure.
We do we're still seeing wastelands, I think.
Yeah, you're right.
Because this is, not to steal your thunder here, but if we're here, we're here. This is the most confused I've ever been about what this world is supposed to be and what state it is in, how infrastructure works there, how society operates, if people are still around. As I describe it in my notes, this is wild goof shit. Because like you have so they start in a theater and then it's mostly relegated to abandoned or unfinished subway tunnels, depending on who you ask. I feel like that's an important distinction, but whatever. And they keep just saying the city, and this is our first real encounter with cities, and yet there's not like civilians or like a Papa John's or anything. Like there's just it muddles significantly where are we? What are we doing?
So
are they in purgatory? Are they in fight purgatory?
Yeah, maybe. I mean, we are.
God.
So they've mentioned that there is civilization and civilians in previous episodes, and they've said that they've been able to keep the battles away from like the populated areas, away from civilians. I think what really happened is they finally turned on Mortal Kombat 3 like around the offices, because that was the inspiration for the series. They were like, this is Mortal Kombat 3 era, Outworld invasion, all that kind of stuff, right? And they flipped the game on for the first time ever, 11 episodes in, and they were like, oh shit, this game takes place like in the cities, like in the subway tunnels and the streets and stuff. Fuck.
They turned on Mortal Kombat 3 and the theme song started, and when that game hit them with that sweet "Making My Way Downtown," they were like, oh, this is a game in the city.
Game in the City 2, starring Carrie Bradshaw.
No. God. If I never see Carrie Bradshaw again, it'll be too soon, dude.
Oh, man. It just didn't make sense.
To me, it didn't really seem too different. I mean, like I said, like it's all, there's still ruins. It was still pretty empty. Like it didn't seem to me. It didn't seem that
but
much
it's
different.
like it's like human infrastructure, and they keep talking about it like people were just there. Like that's what's weird to me.
I totally get that.
Yeah.
And for me, it was weird because like episode 1, there's just like an abandoned barge that they're hiding behind to fight cybers or something. And I'm like, okay, so this is the apocalypse. Like everything's gone, and now we see this, and like, oh no, there's still like why? Like there's still a city. There's nobody in it. Maybe all of those. Maybe this was their subtle way. They couldn't say it, but this is what like, the Mortal Kombat 3 story is. Everyone who wasn't a chosen warrior, their souls all got sucked up into the Soulnado thing, right? So maybe the baby cartoon couldn't just say, hey, everyone in this world is dead except for these like 6 chuckleheads.
Hang on, they could talk around it. They could say exactly what you said, which is that all their souls got sucked up into a soul tornado. That doesn't mean they're dead.
They all got sucked into the void.
Per se. You don't even have to, just don't say void. Soulnado. Kids don't give a shit. They'll take the word Soulnado at face value. You kidding me?
Honestly, when I was a kid, I'll be honest with you. Like when I watched like Mortal Kombat, the first like movie, like the idea of being stuck in some guy's like Shang Tsung being stuck in his like psyche or whatever, like that. It's kind of, as a kid, like that would be awful. Like losing your soul, like that concept always kind of like.
Okay, so you're gonna scare Damion, but you might have a good.
He was on a wuss, would be able to handle it. No, but no, I mean, I agree. I think you could probably do stuff like that. I mean, I'm pretty sure like there's X-Men cartoons and superhero cartoons that dealt with like similar themes,
right?
But maybe not for the whole series though.
And maybe they thought about it more over those ones, because I don't think the show it was not on the radar.
Yeah. So there's the apocalypse stuff. Like there's like Thundar the Barbarian that talked about the moon killing like 90% of the people. So I guess he could do it.
Right. And of course Warrior King Part 4, where he was ready to genocide an entire planet.
Yeah. Well, his whole planet was genocided, right?
Yeah, like, so he was going to do it to another
Which
one.
means he can do it. Yeah, transitive property.
Totally.
Is that what
also,
that is?
Raiden doomed that planet in the first place.
Well, I mean,
He chucked the orb into space.
Well, he didn't mean to, though.
Yeah.
It was like he did throw it in the sky and be like, fuck those people. Like,
if
in
the
that
Warrior
planet.
King showed up on time, it was in the episode, and they had a chance to get to know his soul.
If Raiden didn't jump the fucking gun.
Wow. Well,
he couldn't throw that.
Look. I go after Raiden a lot. Raiden's a piece of shit. However, how was he supposed to know that there was a dimension hopping barbarian man who really needed that? How was he supposed to know?
I don't even think it's that. I mean, he had this orb that he could have used to like heal the earth.
It's too powerful.
On that episode. I mean, well, he could have done that. He's a god. He could have done that first and then thrown it into space afterwards.
Or maybe he's like Gandalf in Lord of the Rings. Like, through me, something bad will happen. I don't know.
No, it's fucking Raiden. No,
that's true. Yeah,
if he had just waited like 10 minutes, not even 10 minutes, like 45 seconds, the Warrior King would have shown up and be like, "Hey, that's fine,
2020, Neil."
Yeah, I'm just saying, it's fucked up. Should we go to the Corey corner?
I mean, I guess. Welcome to the Corey corner. What kind of engine is that? I'm not really a car guy, for as ironic as that may sound. Do we know?
Hold on. I can tell you. Give me 1 second here.
Oh, man. I love car.
Oh, here it is. Car starting 146 BPM .wave.
Dude, I thought it was really cool when everybody went to the car council and said, horsepower's over, buddy. We're measuring car engines in beats per minute now. And everybody agreed that was good. And that's just how we live our lives now.
I wish I still had that techno button.
Living my life 1 BPM at a time, instead of a quarter mile at a time.
A quarter mile at a time,
yeah.
What's that time that's based off of beats? Like you can tell there's a time unit, like a watch that goes by beats instead of actually I forget what it's called, but
it's called a Skrillex.
Everyone's tired today.
If this was a theater like in the hit television program Mortal Kombat Defenders of the Realm and nothing else, I'd get out one of those big hooks and give you one of those "get over here's" like they do on the big stage.
Like I'm Daffy Duck playing the piano.
Yeah, or I'm just gonna, orb. Okay, got it. So we're in a theater. And by we, I mean Sonya and Sub-Zero mostly, and maybe somebody else. And
I think it was just those two.
Yeah, but it's funnier if I say that because somebody's going to show up later.
Oh, yeah.
And it's dark in there. And it's dark in here, this theater. And they're walking around. They're just like, man, pretty sure the Black Dragon's going to be in here. We're looking for the Black Dragon. I don't like them because they killed my partner, Wexler. Don't forget. And lasers start happening in the room for reasons, a fight had to happen eventually. There's some pretty cool shots of Sub-Zero freezing some lasers or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Best high beat watches. What the fuck?
That's what I was talking about. You guys are
I genuinely had no idea what you were talking about, so I have to look at this for a second. I was completely lost.
They tick more than 10 times. Watches that tick more than 10 times a second.
Yeah, that sounds like too many.
Stupid.
Times.
God, this would give me anxiety.
Does it still make as loud a ticking sound? Because that does sound kind of cool. They're for the affordable price of $19,900.
Jesus Christ.
For the low price of $19,900, you too can have a watch that ticks at 20 ticks a second instead of 10.
Enter the promo code Sony and the Boys for 10%
off. Who came? So basically, to understand this, I've heard of this. So all it does, it means just ticks different. That's the only thing.
Yeah, it also looks pretty fucking tight. I do love a watch.
Controversial statement.
I don't know. Like at this point, I have a cell phone now, so what do I care?
I don't know. I wear a watch every day.
Oh, okay.
It's a calculator watch, though.
Tight.
Yeah, it's hella cool.
I've got couple smart watches. They vibrate
for a dumb guy. Am I right?
Well, I didn't say it.
Compensating for something. That gunshot takes on new meaning when you're being laughed at.
So, hey, out of curiosity, smartphones, do they have like FaceTime now? Can you actually do the Dick Tracy shit now?
There's probably an Apple Watch that can do that shit. I don't know.
I can take a call on my watch and talk through it.
That is some
I don't want to
Dick
fucking talk
Tracy
about
shit.
my.
I don't really want to talk about your watch either.
Short version: if someone calls me, my watch vibrates more than or ticks more than once per second, and it gives me a fucking heart attack.
So, we're in this theater, right? I don't think anybody's wearing a watch that tells time, but they can talk through them, and they are.
Yeah.
They're whispering through them because you can't talk loud in a theater because it's obnoxious.
Dick Tracy watches, like in that Madonna movie.
Yeah, famously that film that everybody knows because Madonna was in it and no other reason.
And David Bowie. He was in the card game at the very beginning.
Oh, okay, tight. I'm gonna rewatch that later.
So we're in this theater.
Sorry.
And lasers abound, which is never great. And they've been looking for the secret hideout of the Black Dragon, and Sonya wants to get Kano back for all that shit that he did. And while in the fray of the fight, which includes a very funny shot where you can tell that one of the chairs is gonna explode because it's a different color than the rest of the chairs, Kabal runs in with great speed, as he often does, and just straight up steals Sonya, like picks her up and runs away. And then, after calling for backup because the Black Dragon is here, the combat team arrives the only way they know how, which is in giant dragon jets through the floor, completely destroying most of the building. Which is, I'm not joking, one of the funniest things this show will ever do. And it's immediately followed by organ music because of the Phantom of the Opera bit that they're doing. That 1-2 punch is truly unparalleled in the history of Defenders of the Realm. They come up through the floor
They fucking do.
like the Underminer, everyone's favorite villain that comes through the floor from the hit film The Incredibles. And
I had forgotten about that, but my all capitals notes: Dragon jets crash through the floor.
Dude, my note says, is that the best way to provide backup? You've completely destroyed the building. What a fucking hilarious entrance. Oh my god.
I think my note literally says most generic explosion 2.mp3 SFX as that was happening.
Oh, totally, yeah. This is actually what they lifted that from to put in other things.
And then we get a bunch of Sonya and Kabal hanging out, talking about Kabal's whole deal. We get a flashback. He was in the Black Dragon. He was one of those. He was that guy. He was so good. Oh man, what an amazing fighter, man. He was gonna get called on to do Mortal Kombat for the good guys, and Shao Kahn was like, don't think so, and sent a gang of overwhelming dudes to kick his ass extremely hard.
Yeah.
And now he's got his iconic respirator set up, and meanwhile the Black Dragon's walking around. They all have a face tat that looks like a question mark, except for Kano, who doesn't.
They're like Morlocks, basically, speaking of X-Men.
They've got the same face tattoos that Cabral and his daddy had in Conquest.
Which, this is a good use of foreshadowing then for Mortal Kombat Conquest, because we should have known Jola was going to win because she didn't have a face tat, much like Kano, who does not have a face tat. That's clearly what that was supposed to indicate. God, we're such rubes. And Kano's voice actor, really quick, continues to be the most offensive thing my ears have ever heard. And we get some more funny organ music cues. Stryker calls Kabal a freak because of course he does.
Yeah.
I don't also
freak.
Neil, you're gonna have to catch me up. You can save it for when I've got to the end of the episode of this, but you're gonna have to tell me how canon this Kabal story feels, because it doesn't feel very
like as far as I know, it's actually pretty accurate to the games.
There's a big dude named Hideyoshi who's like a big warrior man, one of Shao Kahn's deadliest assassins, which is pretty sick. A big chasm opens up again, which is our hero's greatest threat. And the undercurrent of this whole thing is trying to stop the Black Dragon and learning to respect Kabal for the man he is and not his terrible injuries, and trying to fight ableism and not really succeeding in any meaningful way. And they win because they always win because they weren't gonna like. What did you think was gonna happen? Hello. Whatever. That's all I got.
That's basically it.
Yeah.
Let's hop over to the Neil Nook, and then it's a short one, and then we'll dive into this a little further.
Okay.
Welcome to the Neil Nook.
It's Gucci.
All right, this episode was written by Sidney Clark and Steve Granat. They've written a handful of these. We've talked about them in the past. We got Michael DeBars back as Kano, famously from Poison Ivy, The New Seduction.
Famously.
And also he wrote that song Obsession.
Which is frankly a significantly more interesting thing about him.
And we've got Kevin Michael Richardson voicing Kabal. And that name should sound familiar because he also voiced Goro in Mortal Kombat 1995. Also voices him in Mortal Kombat Legends Scorpion's Revenge. He's done some voices for Young Justice, Teen Titans, Kingdom Hearts 2, Let Your Heart Be Your Guiding Key.
Yeah, of course.
And he was the Joker in The Batman and The Batman versus Dracula.
Yo, what the why are we not doing a podcast about all the times the Batman fought Dracula?
It was just the one time.
You don't know that. You do not know that.
I'm pretty sure we talked about that last time. Someone on one of the shows we watched voiced Dracula, I think, on the Batman vs. Dracula. And I'm not
really. This may as well
be
be the first time I'm hearing about it.
He also did a voice in a PC game called Leisure Suit Larry: Love for Sale.
Oh,
yeah. You ever hear the Leisure Suit Larry games, Corey?
Yeah.
We're not going to talk about them. Just wanted to drop that in here. That is it for the Neil Nook. Like I said, it's a short one. So I don't know that we need to go beat by beat on this one. I think we can just kind of have a general discussion because you covered everything in the Corey corner, with the exception that at the end, Kano
Here's
blows
the thing,
up the
not
subway
even
tunnels.
Intentionally, just the episode's not about very much. So
there's some things I want to point out for sure, like as we're going along.
Feel free to point out whatever you want. I just want to start this off with this episode's got it's making some kind of a statement about Kabal feeling ashamed because of the way he looks, and the combat team both, like, I can't tell, are they suspicious of him because he's disfigured, or are they suspicious of him because he used to work for the Black Dragon, or are they using that as an excuse to be suspicious of him because he's disfigured? Because he doesn't do anything in this episode that should arouse their suspicions at all, but they act like it's an issue. Like, we don't know if we can trust this
There's
guy.
historical precedent for them overreacting to complete nothing.
100%.
Yeah,
that's kind of their whole brand. I mean, I think what it comes down to is you'd have to buy at face value that they don't trust him because of the Black Dragon connection. They've come across way weirder looking fucking dudes than that. Like,
yeah,
sure, but they also attack his physical appearance multiple times.
They do that. They also do that. That's why the whole fucking setup doesn't work. Is like they bully each other all the time. So it's like, if you want to tell kids the lesson of like, hey, don't judge people based on how they look or what their ability is, maybe don't choose a show where you just kind of do that already.
Constantly.
I don't think there is something to do what Neil's saying, though. I think they are trying to conflate them. Like they're on the one value, on the one level, on the face value level, it's definitely about Black Dragon for sure. That's what it is. But they do have a thematic aspect of it, which I think is probably on another level, because that's otherwise why Sonia's whole monologue about her wheelchair friend, which I have in her notes, I forget what her name is. But she has basically,
I believe her name was Margaret.
Maggie.
And so, like, and so they're obvious, and she makes it, that's explicit. They explicitly are saying, like, oh, people treated her differently after the accident, after the wheelchair. So I think Neil's got a point that maybe thematically for kids are trying to do both. But I think that, as Corey and you both and Neil both pointed out, like, it doesn't quite work.
No,
because Black Dragon's a legitimate thing to be distrustful for, right? Like, he was one of the top Black Dragon assassins, so it makes sense to be distrustful of him. But you're also, to an extent, making explicit that there also is this other, like, lesson on top of that about acceptance. You can't really, those two don't meld, especially on the nuance of this show. The
No.
show doesn't have the nuance or the ability to totally
the basic competence.
If you say Mortal Kombat Defender of the Realm has nuance 5 times into a mirror, Striker appears and he shoots you to death.
But I will say something I did like. I mean, I would say, again, as somebody who loves Kabal, I did like that he had his own episode. I already said that up front. But I also, I thought some of the fight stuff was kind of cool. I thought when he did his tornado move, it was pretty randomly, fluidly animated in a way that nothing else in the episode is. And some of the other fight scenes weren't in previous episodes, except for the Scooby-Doo sound effect that went along with it. But and so honestly, I'll be honest, I haven't watched other shows, so I watched the first 5 episodes up to the Sub-Zero versus Smoke episode.
I gotta be honest, Mortal Kombat Defenders of the Realm was the only television show I've ever seen, and I have no other reference points. Just being a guy who is only like guy watching second TV show for the first time, getting a lot of Defenders of the Realm vibes from
it. It's very Boss Baby tweet.
Yeah.
But in terms of like just this show, I didn't watch anything up till I just watched Kabal after the Kabal episode. And so I don't really know if there's happened earlier or in between, but like there are tons of literally Scooby-Doo animation loops for like Liu Kang and it's like is that a common?
This show was made for $4.
There was definitely like a part in the last time Kano showed up where they all fell down a trap door at the base of a pyramid. And that was major Scooby-Doo vibes.
Yeah, and so besides the sound effects, it also has animation loops and things like that. But I think some of Kabal's fighting actually was fluidly animated, and I thought his design under the mask was more gruesome than I expected to be for a kid's show.
Oh, it was pretty darn accurate.
Am I the asshole if I watched this episode with this message and still laughed extremely hard when he took the mask off? Because it looks very silly.
It was
he looks like a silly monster man.
Yeah,
and I feel like that undermines their message slightly.
Maybe a little bit.
But it is pretty, like Neil said, it's pretty accurate to the games, and so like and it did show the skin and like meat underneath the skin, which I thought was kind of like gruesome again for like a kid's cartoon.
Yes, it was edgy. This ain't for children's. This is for 9-year-olds.
This ain't your grandma's
basically
Mortal Kombat Defenders of the Realm.
So which is why I probably fell for it hook, line, and sinker when I was a dumb kid. But to be fair, I'll give it credit where it's due. I think some of that was again when it comes to Kabal, I think a lot of the stuff was fine, and the voice acting was okay. Like I thought his voice acting was fine.
Oh yeah.
For what it was, what he had to do. Yeah, and I think honestly, and to be fair, other than Kano, I don't think the voice acting was really all that bad. Because I saw the other 5 episodes, and like even in those episodes, like even Ron Perlman was in, and like Sonya was.
Sorry, I didn't mean to talk over either. Please finish.
Oh no! I was saying, like Sonya was bad too. I thought Sonya was actually the actress was pretty good in this episode, and I thought most of the actors there's no like distractingly bad voice acting in this episode.
Sonya's getting better. I think.
I mean, they've also spent a lot of time giving Sonya a lot of attention the last couple episodes. This is another one where the whole crux of it is like Sonya is in emotional distress. How is she coping with that? Which is interesting on its face. But what I was going to say quickly is just that it's so charming to hear somebody talk about all of the stuff that we have just completely stopped fucking talking about this many episodes into this show that we think is mostly bad. Like the animation quality and if the voice actors are good, because I feel like we have just completely transcended that discussion half the time.
We have. It's just
it's like through the looking glass at this point for you guys. Yeah,
we can't say how shitty the show looks every episode. It's not fair.
Yeah,
it'll be pretty repetitive for sure.
Everyone knows. We all know.
I did sort of. I like that the episode was attempting to have that like emotional core to it. I don't think it succeeds to great effect. But A for effort, like it's interesting. I
mean, B+ for effort.
I don't know why. I don't know why the only thing that they can come up with is women have emotions. Seems to really be what it tends to come down to. Which is sort of like I could certainly take or leave that. This episode really did not leave an impression on me. The more that we talk about it,
Kabal definitely had some emotions too.
Yeah.
Which is why all the other boys are mean to him.
Yeah, exactly. That's
he's a sense that he's the emo of the group.
Yeah.
Which is why he has to be alone. He has to listen to his My Chemical Romance.
Yeah.
In the corner on the pavilion.
He has to go listen to Shasta McNasty.
No, that's Striker's playlist. Striker listens to Shasta McNasty.
No, we've already established that Striker listens to a lot of Sister Machine Gun.
Does Jax secretly listen to Shasta McNasty and he doesn't want to admit it? It's like in between like his playlist. He's like has it hidden somewhere, renamed or something.
I'm so glad that somebody's finally here that can laugh at certain jokes that Neil says that I don't understand.
Corey forgets everything we record the second the recording is over.
But I never heard of that band before, so I can only do so much.
But yeah, so what was I gonna say? So like I going back to the emotional core stuff, I actually was happy with that aspect. But at the same time, I was wondering, what do you guys think? Do you think that Sonya was into Kabal, or was that just like sympathy? Was that just like, oh, I'm sympathetic towards you? Or do you think they were trying to do like a fan of the opera, actually legitimate fan of the opera, like some kind of romance?
I don't know, man.
This show's 20 minutes long and it's a shitty cartoon. I don't think it cares. My personal take would be no, that it's more like just a sympathetic relationship between two people that are having a bad time. But I don't think they were thinking about it that deeply either.
Yeah, I think they just wanted it to be left open to interpretation. I
don't think they thought anybody was going to be interpreting it. So
there are a lot of Sonya Kabal shippers out there. We want to hear from you.
What's the ship name for that? Kablonia? I don't like that one at all.
Nope. It's Kablonia. That's it. We've settled it. Sonyal.
Kablade?
There you go.
Are we allowed to use Blade?
Kablade. It's probably Kablade.
Why not just make it Kabal Blade at that point?
Kabal.
No, because Kablade. It's two words. It's like.
But like first name, last name. Like it's a last name.
Well, Kabal is one name though, so
that's what I'm saying. That's why we gotta come up with something that uses Sonya instead. That's why we gotta put in the legwork. We gotta we gotta get down on our hands and knees. My hands look like this, so their hands can look like that. And it's a picture of Sonya and Kabal shippers and me.
You guys have any good ship names for Sonya and Kabal? Tweet at Mr. Corey Price.
Please, God, I can't sleep at night. This is all I can think about.
And also tweet him all the artwork too.
Yeah, definitely.
The more explicit, the better.
I was staying up, staring at my ceiling, waiting for my bed to inflate, and all I could think about was what the ship name for Sonya and Kabal was.
That's a bad idea, Corey, because then your bed's not going to inflate. It's going to be flat. It's going to hurt your back.
Because I'm going to cut that part out. That's just going to be a dig for Damion when he listens to this later.
No, but so like my another couple things. Speaking of animation stuff, is like I remember it was really weird when she got hit by a fireball, because I didn't know she got hit by a fireball at first. It was so badly animated.
They're not very clear with these things.
Yeah, because what happens is what's really weird at the beginning. So going back to the beginning, sorry, let's rewind to the beginning of the episode.
Let's go back to the time.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But there's a scene when Sonya Blade and Sub-Zero, they're in the theater at the very beginning, and then they get shot by fireballs.
Right.
And they're like, "Who the fuck is hitting us?" And it shows Kabal shooting the fireballs, and then immediately cuts to.
It's like maybe
Kabal
fireballs. It might also just be explosive stuff. It is very unclear.
But it was just really weird, because I remember it's really badly edited, because immediately it shows him like shooting, and then immediately cuts to Kabal saving Sonya, and it was like
Kabal and Liu Kang's ship name is Kablu.
There you go.
Okay. But before that, she gets shot by a fireball, and she's kind of just tumbling, and kind of 0G with like the fireball sort of off centered, and so it looks like it's pushing her like a rock. It was really weird. I didn't really know. So at first I thought she was dodging it, the way it was animated, but eventually it shows she's smoking her outfit's all ripped,
smoking her cigarettes.
Yeah, in a kid show even. It's 90s for you.
Man, I missed that. I just brought it up. You're right. It is 100%. It looks like Kabal. He holds his hands up, and then there's fireballs coming out of it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So what the fuck were they doing on this show? They're going to show us that scene and then be like, psych, he was good all along. Why the fuck did they put that in? Did they know what they were going to do at the end of this when they started it?
I don't think they did. Here's the reason why. So because when she first
do you think the script got leaked like Scream 2 and they had to change the ending?
I do think there's restructuring for sure because for instance there's a scene where like he's in the shadows, it's obvious his mask is off, but then they do a reverse angle and you see the gas mask, you see the outlines of the gas mask, and it cuts back to the other reverse angle. His mask is obviously off because he walks out to reveal that he has his face messed up,
right?
But it's like it seems obvious that those two scenes, it's like and they break the 180-degree rule because they show like Sonya on one side and they reverse angle it, but it seems they didn't do the flip right or whatever. They didn't do a horizontal flip to make up for that, and so it kind of seems like it just cuts to another side of the room, and you just don't. The spatial orientation they first talk to each other just makes no sense,
right?
And it does seem like there might have been some change. Maybe he was bad, or maybe like. Or maybe like there's a misunderstanding. It didn't have just again it's 22 minutes. They didn't have enough time to do that subplot, so they cut the subplot out and had to like rearrange things. I don't know what it is, but
I don't know.
That's speculation on my part. But I remember just being confused.
I don't even think it probably goes that deep. I think the show got made hard and fast for little money, and shit just happens, and you just have to accept that. And that's all we have.
I think there's a reason that this hasn't really been like re-released on streaming.
I think there's a reason there's 2 more episodes of it, and then it was over forever.
Yeah. Oh boy.
Also, Sub-Zero is pretty hypocritical about not trusting people. The whole thing about like, it's weird that Sub-Zero is the one that says that. Where it's like, can we trust him? He's part of the Black Dragon. It's like, motherfucker, you're part of the Lin Kuei. Like, what are you talking about? Like, that's the whole like first 2 episodes is all about this.
Yeah, but Sub-Zero's journey was to then help them fight the Lin Kuei, and then they trusted him. So he's like, I'm not trusting this guy till I see him fight the Black Dragon.
Oh, I guess this is weird that it's him saying it. I can understand maybe like Nightwolf or someone else. Like
it should have been Stryker because Stryker gave Sub-Zero shit about that multiple times.
Another funny thing was when Jax finds a bat with a comically large Black Dragon type logo on it. Like,
It's so funny. Like, why was that? That's so funny.
Did they license that out?
What, are they fucking big baseball fans? Like, what the fuck? Why is it a bat? Like, what are you talking about?
Why did they leave it behind? Why does it have the logo on? Like, why would you want that? They would never have known what was going on if Jax hadn't found that. If you just regular bat, they could have been like they could have ignored it, but they had to like go out of their way to put the fucking logo on it.
Yeah, man, branding. You know, they got to get their name out there. They all have tattoos.
True.
I mean, they're not subtle. Like, I don't know why it took them so fucking long to find them because they've all got face tattoos and carry around equipment
or a Terminator face.
Well, yeah, and they have their name written on everything. Like they shouldn't be this fucking hard to find.
Yeah,
but remember,
it's like Cobra.
We are in the city. You know, things can get pretty crazy out there.
I guess they're hidden about as well as that second sword of Ilkan was hidden.
Where do you guys want to put this? You just want to put this one back where we found it? Yeah.
That'll be fine. They'll never look here.
No one will look.
And I'm wondering. But I did like when Corey mentioned the Hideyoshi, the big
Hideyoshi.
So the crux of the episode on a plot level. So we talked the thematic stuff about like. You know, Kabal saves Sonya, and they bond over not shared trauma, but they over trauma and different traumas, and they're sort of that's the emotional core that's sort of again. There's again nuance that the show is not able to, but the actual plot of the episode is the Black Dragon is using the subway systems to create a portal. To create a technological portal.
They've built a big machine that can open portals,
and they're working for Shao Kahn.
Right.
And so. When they open up the portal for the first time, they bring Hideyoshi out. Hideyoshi is this big, like, he basically looks like Monster, honestly, from Mortal Kombat Deception.
The deadliest of all of Shao Kahn's assassins that isn't Silk Manning from Mortal Kombat Conquest.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
And so, but then Kabal kicks his ass.
Yes.
Immediately. Literally in 2 seconds. But I did like that Hideyoshi basically almost killed Stryker in one move. I was happy about that. I mean,
sure.
You know,
only one thing would have made me happier.
Yeah, exactly, for sure. I do like his tornado move, like I talked about before, with like Flintstone sound effects.
Yeah,
it literally sounds like when like Fred Flintstone is like pushing his feet to move his car. It's basically what it sounded like when he did the tornado. Kicks in the portal. He literally puts his fingers to Sonya's lips, like a shh thing when she's like trying to cry, which is weird.
Yeah. He's getting a little overly familiar pretty quickly there.
Yeah, come on, Kabal.
Honestly,
keep it down. I did like the fact that at the end, after that, they go to his like lair. And he literally, like Corey was talking about, like the references to the Phantom of the Opera. He literally just says, "Had to hide away like a phantom."
Yeah, he 100%
and then the musical cue, the organ just comes in.
Yes.
Which I'm surprised Neil doesn't have a drop for that. But...
I do. I don't have it on my soundboard. I'll be putting it in post.
Okay.
I only got 7 buttons to work with, and we needed both rim shots. We needed the dun. I needed all the ones I got loaded.
No worries. I gotcha. I did like this. Talking about like you guys no longer talking about the animation, but I was kind of actually somewhat not impressed relatively for the show with the artsy reflection scene where like Sonya and Kabal are talking, but it turns out it's a reflection of the water, so there's like some rippling effects, and it pans or tilts up to see them talking. So I thought that was kind of interesting.
Yeah, they do some interesting things on occasion.
Yeah,
even a broken clock is right twice a day.
Yeah, right. And another thing I really liked was when Kabal's like, "I'm the only one who can sneak in," and he literally just like walks up, presses a big dragon button.
Yeah, that was ridiculous.
The door.
The way,
like, what the fuck?
So the way Kabal's gonna like prove to the combat team that he's like good and stop the Black Dragon is, and again, all of these, it's all these decisions that are made to like make him look suspect, right? Like portal opens up, deadly assassin comes through, he kicks the deadly assassin right away, like, so like they should trust him, right? And the Black Dragon are gonna, we got to destroy this weapon. I'm the only one who can sneak in. Either he's on the level or he's about to betray them or whatever. They do all these things to try to make us think like we should be suspicious of him too. I wasn't suspicious for a second, like, and I thought it would have been good if they had done the twist and he actually was like still working for the Black Dragon. He's like, "Psych, we got you. You just got punked." But
I'm glad they didn't, honestly, because he's a good guy in that canon.
All I can say is that by Mortal Kombat Armageddon, he was again working for the Black Dragon. So I don't know how long he stays good.
That's true, but that's all stupid. I always hated that. In fact, I was almost going to do a little side segment about like his convoluted history in the Mortal Kombat like universe and how he kind of switches back and forth like randomly.
Yeah.
And I did like they were like Kano's like, "There's too many guards even for you," and there's like 2 guards.
Yeah.
And I was like,
yeah, he said too many guards. TWO.
Yeah.
It's hard to tell because of his accent and the fact that he sounds
true.
Sounds like he's trying to ask me.
There's too many guards for you, baby.
Damn it, we did the. I was gonna get there, but it's fine.
You can do it.
No, all I was gonna say was it sounds like he keeps on wanting to ask me if he makes me horny.
Oh, baby. Yeah.
And Kabal's like, "Yes, but that's not important right now." But I did like and I also liked when like Kabal was looking in the camera and had the fisheye lens effect, which is like probably simple to do. They probably just put like a filter over it.
Yeah.
But,
I mean, they're professional animators. I'd certainly hope they could fucking figure that one out.
They've got the equipment. They've got the tools. I guess we're just impressed that they thought about it on this show.
Yeah, it's basically more what it is. You can literally just do. Scooby-Doo ain't doing that shit.
We're really feeding Scooby-Doo the boots in this episode, aren't we? Jesus.
Well, because fuck Scooby-Doo.
Because dogs love chewing on shoes.
How many times do I have to tell you this, Neil?
Donuts don't wear alligator shoes.
I also like when Kate.
Hold on, Damion. Corey's losing his mind at something he said.
I was sorry. I had to quote Black Dynamite. I couldn't help it.
Black Dynamite's a pretty good movie.
Donuts don't wear alligator shoes. It's true, they don't. I've never seen it before.
One of my favorite jokes of that is when she's crying in one shot, and then it cuts to him, and in the wide shot she's not crying, and then cuts to her close up, she's crying. It's like a very subtle filmmaking joke, which I really liked. It didn't make it impress anybody else. Okay,
that's cool. That's the problem, is that Corey and I just don't notice this stuff anymore. It's
not about Black Dynamite.
Oh, sorry.
I mean, to the wider point, any fuck ups Defenders of the Realm is making, it's completely passing through our smooth brains because this show is just completely buffed out all those imperfections in our brains rather than in itself. Yeah, I mean, I don't have a lot to say about this one. I really don't. Like,
No.
it was just kind of like, it was another episode of. I don't know if you guys have heard about this, but Mortal Kombat Defenders of the Realm, it's this whole cartoon thing. It was kind of just like another one of those.
Yeah, I get it. I just had a couple more notes.
Sure, yeah.
I want to bring up like for instance, when Kano sneaks up on Kabal, it's literally like he turns and they're 3 feet away from him.
Mhm.
Like how did that happen?
Yeah. That when the
Really,
Black Dragon's like coming through the tunnel. They're just like right there.
You've got to be very quiet. I'm hunting rabbits. I don't know.
Hunting Kabals. Kabal season, Kano season, Kabal season.
I just want to hear
Shao Kahn season.
Hearing Elmer Fudd voice say Kabal makes me want to hear Elmer Fudd say "These nuts" really bad.
God damn it!
Let me see. These nuts.
Thank you.
Nah, I can't.
That was pretty good. That was
terrible.
Pretty good.
Yeah,
it's better than any other voice we've ever tried to do on this podcast. That's for sure.
I could. Yeah, the only other kind of voice I could do are like 80s villains that sound like black metal singers, like Skeletor and shit. Or not Skeletor, Cobra and shit, and Megatron, that kind of shit.
I just think that in the new Space Jam, they should have made Elmer Fudd say, "I'm gonna Space Jam these nuts," and then do a cool dunk. Sorry. Thank you. Thank you.
Shoot the ball, Sam. Nice.
I love that I don't have to actually laugh anymore. I can just press a button and express how I was feeling.
Finally, we've automated the show. We don't have to make it anymore.
Next episode is just going to be put together by an algorithm that we had watch every episode and listen to every episode.
Honestly, you probably have enough episodes. You can do a Vocaloid of your voices and just like put it into.
What a terrible thought.
Probably, but my audio quality is not always consistent. It might get a little weird. I just want to talk a little bit about. I did like that part when Kabal was sneaking in, when he opens the doors and he knocks the dudes. Then he just picks up one of the dudes like by his head and holds his face up to the scanner for the retina scan, and then he just chucks the body.
Yeah,
like it was at that point where I was like, okay, there's not going to be a double cross at the end of this. Like that was like.
Yeah.
Also, wow, somebody had a thought for something to look at that might be interesting, and then did it on this show.
I do think Kabal overall looked cool. He was voiced well. His animation was good. I liked seeing all the speed effects. They were fine,
Yeah.
Just run around like the Flash. When something's moving fast, you can just sort of make it blurry. And it works.
Kinda was the Dover Boys, speaking of Looney Tunes. Dover Boys! Like where Chuck Jones did the smear effect for the animation, kind of stuff like that.
I don't know. I was going to compare it to a Sonic the Hedgehog cartoon.
Which one?
The one with the chicken robot, actually, in this case. But overall, it was cool to see him. I think the character was pretty well done. He was interesting. He was more interesting than everybody else, and we didn't get much of him, and it made everything else around him feel just less good.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense. Yeah, he definitely kind of overshadowed.
The problem with punching above your weight is everything has to, or it just makes the rest of you suck.
100%.
That makes sense. I definitely. The only thing I'll say about Kabal though, sometimes his body proportions were a little bit off. So sometimes he looked really chunky. He looked like me, basically cosplaying as Kabal. And other times he looked more like Life. So the only thing I'll say about the Kabal thing is definitely his body proportions were inconsistent.
Yeah, but everyone's on this show.
It's great that we have found a way to judge Kabal for his appearance that has nothing to do with his face. That's truly an achievement. Good for us.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like me, so.
Well, now I sound like I was being mean.
Well, you kind of. But
I wasn't trying to be. I'm sorry. It wasn't meant to be about you. It was just that we were talking about what he looks like. I don't want you to think that's what I meant. I'd feel terrible.
No, you're all good. I'm trying to save myself from being like, oh, maybe I was being kind of bad too. So let me put it back on me.
It's a cartoon. He'll be fine.
Both need to know that all of this is staying in the episode.
Oh, God damn it. Okay. It's my fault. But also, so one of the things, so Hideyoshi coming back, I thought was really dumb because I felt like, where's the stakes?
Hideyoshi and the boys.
Well, Kabal already beat his ass.
Yeah, but if you come up
with
with a character that big with all that screen real estate, you got to put him somewhere.
Yeah.
They gotta get their money's worth for Hideyoshi because they're only gonna use him once.
Yeah.
So they're like, we gotta
really
crank this up to 12.
Yeah, this was expensive to animate.
Oh, for sure.
We're gonna reuse these assets.
Yeah. Well, actually, so did you guys ever watch the Invincible show on Amazon Prime?
No.
I have not watched it yet.
Okay, then I'm not going to bring it up.
No spoilers.
Yeah, there's a spoiler in it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm familiar with the source
I've seen
material.
The picture of the guy yelling at that plane. I don't know what he's so mad about. That air show looks like it's pretty fun to be at, but
and then Jax uses a gun. I don't remember this. I have this in my notes. Jax uses a gun.
I'm sure he does.
I mean, he probably did.
Jack's famous for using guns.
God, Neil and I don't give a shit about this show anymore, dude.
Yeah, stuff like that just we don't even see it.
We
man.
have checked the fuck out.
I have very thorough notes. That is
I
not
have some
one
notes,
of them.
and one of my notes just says, "I'm Austin Powers, hello, baby."
I have a note that says, "Kano keeps calling everyone baby."
I have a note that just says, "How can Kano talk to them on the Dragon Jets? How is he doing that?"
That's a good question.
All the Dragon Jets have Facebook Messenger pre-installed.
Also, this episode might feature the best combat time we've heard to date, when it's like big and triumphant, and then a bunch of dudes get sent to the fucking Shadow Realm, and it's like a big reveal that it's combat time instead of a bygone fact that it's combat time.
Combat time.
Wow, that's the worst shit you've ever done on this show. Wow, that sucks.
It's pretty bad.
That sucks.
I love how much Corey hates it.
Combat time.
I don't like that one.
It's combat time, baby.
We've given Neil an overwhelming amount of power.
Do I make you horny, baby?
Ugh.
Do I?
I quit.
It's me, Kano.
Ew, I don't. When
You still gotta do a British accent.
Hideyoshi comes back, why does he have a whip? I don't think he had
Corey's
a whip the first time.
Corey's going to take a trip to Florida to visit me, hang out for like a day, leave. I'm going to come back to my desk. That knob's going to be broken off my mixer.
The mixer will be gone.
Yeah, Hideyoshi, he did come back with a whip.
Maybe because he lost the first time, and he's like, "Why do I got to do another weapon?"
Yeah, he's like, I got to arm myself with something. I can't face Kabal like this.
I got to do my second fighting stance.
I also thought it was kind of interesting when Raiden's telling the gang. Well, okay, again, interesting, probably a strong word.
I thought it was a lowercase I interesting as opposed to capital I interesting.
Exactly. When he's telling the gang about Kabal and how, powerful assassin, Shang Tsung sick, suck all his ninjas on him. All the ninjas are dressed like Ermac. I thought that was weird.
That's what it looks like when you break up Ermac into its individual soul parts.
Yeah, do you think it was Ermac?
No.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
I think it was Ninja.
Yeah.
I think it was Ninja from Fortnite.
We're going to remove most of this ninja talk then.
That's tough because it's a Mortal Kombat show, so you'll have to go back and re-edit a whole bunch of these.
We better start the whole episode over.
Can't talk about ninjas
All right,
anymore.
we can do that.
We're going to talk about this episode again from scratch, but this time we're going to know who the Dover boys are, so when Damion says it, we can react accordingly.
You ever watched that cartoon?
I didn't know that they had a name.
Yeah, I've definitely seen them before.
So I'm not a fan of Striker's smile, and when he kills the guy that Sub-Zero froze.
I don't like when Striker feels positive emotions.
No,
basically
he feels them about murder. I mean,
which makes sense. It's definitely it's true to character for sure.
I mean, we've seen like Sonya's shown remorse for constant battle, and Katana also has been exhausted by it. Liu Kang, we've certainly seen struggle with it.
Yeah.
Striker not once. Striker's just like fucking murder all of them, every single one of these.
Well, him wanting to murder is what ruined his marriage, like canonically.
Yeah.
So like it's like he wanted to do extra shifts in the riot fucking gear.
Right. Yeah. And his girlfriend left him. What a fucking dork.
And I think one of the two things I want to say is Jack uses a ground pound, and I'm a fucking mark, so it made me really happy.
He does that a lot. It's always fun to see them use their moves. Like Sonya used it. She shot her rings when they were back in the theater. It's always cool to see them do the Mortal Kombat stuff, right?
So they did the thing, and I'm such a fucking loser.
I say,
but like,
it's combat time.
Yeah, and then
combat time.
Dude, I don't know. So when I'm not sleeping later and I'm lying awake at night on my inflating bed trying to think of a ship name for Kabal and Sonya, what's gonna be ringing in my ears is that terrible sound.
And then one thing that's really weird to me is that
Sonya Ball anything?
God damn it.
So Sunball?
She loves basketball now.
That's the ship name for Sonya and the Orb.
Orb?
Sonyorb.
Sonyorb, yeah. That's it.
Luke.
Orb, yeah.
Luke Orb. Stray Corb.
Kaborb.
Orb's really
Kaborb
easy.
definitely works.
Kaborb works.
Jorb is Jackson the Orb. Just Jorb.
It's basically Coach Z basically is talking, trying to get a job.
Ray Dorb.
Jorb.
Great Jorb.
Hideyorb.
Great
Everyone's
Jorb.
favorite Mortal Kombat character, Hideyoshi in the Orb. Obviously.
No, that would be Hideyorbshi.
Vorb packs.
But
Vorb packs, we got it.
Oh,
They get their horns.
And I think the other thing I want to talk about in the fight scene is Kabal just sits down for some reason.
He was tired.
Like he just fights and starts sitting. He just sits down. Like he's like, I'm tired, guys. I'm gonna sit down for a second. And they like keep the animation. It's like a one time thing. Like at the end of the fight, like Sonya I think helps him up. Like what was he doing? He just get up.
He lives in these subway tunnels. He doesn't have like access to like food. Probably he's probably pretty fucking tuckered out from trying to survive.
Rats have meat.
And murder all of the Black Dragon on his own. I don't understand.
Maybe Kabal eats the Black Dragon.
End of the episode, right? They blow up the portal machine, whatever it is. They're flying their They're flying their normal dragon jets out. Jesus fucking Christ. And then Kano like comes on FaceTime and he's like, try to escape this one, and he like triggers an explosion that blows up the tunnels. But they just escape it just fine. There was like it didn't even like make us feel like they were in danger. It's more like he just did that to blow up Kabal's home, because then
out of spite,
Kabal's like, I don't have a home anymore, and they're like, come join with us, and he's like, I'm not ready to yet. Dude, go join them. Why? I don't understand.
That makes no sense.
And they're trying to create like
he's a lone wolf.
Well, he could hang out with the other wolf back at the combat.
But lone wolf, there'll be two wolves.
What's the Kabal and Kiva ship name?
Keeve Ball.
Keeval.
You. Yeah. The minute you guys both went there so fast is really funny. You're like, well, obviously it's this, Corey. Stupid fucking question.
Yeah, what's fucking wrong with you, Corey?
It's all over Tumblr.
Also, what? Yeah, exactly. But the other problem is like, why do they even leave Kano alive? That makes no fucking sense. Like, why? Well, like, because it's not like he runs away. Like, usually in these kinds of shows, like as they're fighting, Kano's like, "Whoa, we have to fight another day." He runs away. It's, so I mean, it's still annoying, but that's like the cliche of. But in this one, they had a chance to beat him. They just don't. Sure, like, it makes no sense. Like they didn't do the legwork.
The whole team was really hoping they'd get a season 2 and they could fuck up Kano then.
Or like I said, or at least just have Kano have like a trap door or something they can escape through. Like I'm not saying like they have to capture Kano, but they just at least have an excuse of like why, they don't, rather than just like, oh, we were too lazy to animate it. I guess is probably the real answer. But
yeah, I don't know. I think the short answer is that it's a dumb show.
And the long answer is this podcast.
God, we have really, man. Remember when we used to talk about fun stuff like Mortal Kombat Conquest?
No, it's hard to remember those days now.
What would Kabal be in? Is Kabal like an ancestor of Kabal? Big Theory Boys?
No, I have a different Big Theory Boys.
Big Theory Boys. Big Theory Boy. I can't believe we really did that in just like one take, and the one thing that we did was like, yep, that's the drop now. Problem solved.
No, dude, I edited that together from several clips.
Oh, did you?
Yes, I did.
Oh, egg on my face.
I worked like 10 minutes on it. Jesus.
Wow.
I wonder I've heard eggs on my face as a saying. I don't understand where it comes from.
No, I'm not going to say that joke. I was going to make fun of.
Say
it. Going to say it comes from Donald Pleasance's face makeup in Halloween 4.
Okay.
Yes, it's a bad joke, and that's why it's getting cut out. Because neither of you have seen Halloween 2 when he gets burned at the end.
Okay.
You were right. I was wrong.
Oh, so the idiom came from the audience throwing eggs for performers they didn't like. Sorry,
there it is.
I didn't know.
That makes sense. Probably some of that
Like
happened
tomatoes and
in
stuff.
this theater that the episode took place in.
Mm-hmm.
That's what was actually wrong with Kabal's face. So as we all know, it is inarguable. I've proven definitively that this is a sequel to Mortal Kombat Annihilation. And what some of you guys are thinking, well, where the hell were Kabal and Stryker back then? Right? And the movie does name drop both of them, name drops Kabal and Stryker as people that Rain's extermination squads captured, and mentions them as two of Earth's chosen, fighters or whatever.
Yeah.
Shao Kahn gets mad because Rain left him alive and didn't kill him, but we don't actually see them executed. So that's how Stryker got involved in all of this. And
they rescued him afterwards.
Yeah, and we also know that Kabal's still out there. But as we saw, Kabal was in the Black Dragon. And they were working for Shao Kahn or whatever. And then Shao Kahn turned on him. And that's probably when he got captured originally. The Black Dragon were probably part of the sabotage. Yeah. The other thing I want to mention is we've seen them before. We know the Black Dragons in Mortal Kombat Defenders of the Realm. We just recently were going back over Conquest for another thing. And we talked about Jola and how the Black Dragon all seemingly got killed in Conquest, except Jola, who was in the Cobalt Mines. Jola must have escaped and restarted the Black Dragon sometime between Conquest and Mortal Kombat 95. It's the only explanation.
Truly.
Only.
Yeah.
That's Jola, famous for existing in this whatever time this is in.
I don't think she's here now. I just think she got out and she started the Black Dragon back up.
I think it would be cool if Jola cameoed in episode 12, everybody's favorite Mortal Kombat character. Jola finally back, triumphant return,
Totally. She deserves it, honestly.
Yeah.
That was a really good episode.
I love speaking earnestly about things that I feel passionate about.
I just wanted to talk about something Mortal Kombat that wasn't Defenders of the Realm. I just need the excuse.
Exactly. You need that hit. You need that shot. You need to tie up your arm and stick some of that conquest needle in your veins.
Yeah, because I'm really falling out from this episode. I don't know.
I'm the only one that had any positive, I guess, response to it. Just because, again, my love of Kabal kind of overshadowed a lot of the flaws that it definitely had. I'm not gonna say it was not a good episode.
Hate to bring you on the podcast, Damion, and then rip apart the episode of the cartoon you specifically requested because it was one of your favorites.
No, I mean, it's not a big deal. I mean, for me, it's one of those things where it's like I didn't love this episode. It was really bad, especially the very beginning. It was super badly edited, and the repetitiveness of bringing
Hideyoshi,
bringing him back. I think that was really bad. It wasn't great, and the family opera stuff, which I vaguely remembered, was just so ridiculous in the way that it's comical, unintentionally, and so but there, like I said, the things I said that I did like about it, again, like his face design, some of the fight scene stuff, and things like that, and again, it was relatively accurate to that era of Kabal. Before I think Deception, did he come back? I think it was the next time he came back.
Yes.
Yeah. So, I don't think he was in Deadly Alliance. So I think he was Deception.
No, he wasn't. Almost no one from Mortal Kombat 3 was in Deadly Alliance.
So,
characters introduced. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. And so, so it was one of those things where it's like, and again, as a kid, having nostalgia of oh, cool, my guy's here, and he looks accurate, his backstory's accurate, and all this stuff. It's easy to have that, but friends like Corey, who never was raised on it and never heard of it probably until this podcast, of course you're seeing it objectively, right? Without that filter, it's it's shitty animation, it's a badly told story. And even Neil, it's your first time seeing it, I think too, right? Because
this is my first time seeing this episode. I'm now actually I've been in uncharted waters for a while. I had seen up to the Quan Chi episode, and that was it.
Yeah, so even you get to see it through that. You don't have that kid filter that even I have,
right?
And
I don't have I don't have a history with the show. I caught it a few times as a kid, but I wasn't into it. So it didn't grab me. I think even when I was seeing it, I was kind of this is pretty dumb. I'm gonna watch the movies instead. This just didn't grab me. But I can see the appeal. I think you hit it on the head. The positives for this episode for me are Kabal, right?
Yeah.
I think it was portrayed well. I think it was voice acted well, designed well. I think when he was fighting, it was cool. When he was sneaking into the Black Dragon lair, it was cool. I like those parts. It's good fan service for someone who's a fan of the character, and I can see how that would work. But like Corey said earlier, like when everything else isn't up to that level, it doesn't help, you know?
Yeah, I will say to that point, I will say Sonya's voice acting, like I said, I thought like elevated, and he's from the episodes I saw. I thought she was, relatively wooden, and there was no really good voice acting in the first like 5 episodes.
Yeah, I noticed that last episode on the Swords of Ilkan episode that I thought that she had a lot more emotion and range and stuff in her voice. I was impressed.
Yeah.
And
for a two-hander to have
rare.
the Sonya voice actor and the Kabal voice actor, I think kind of elevated it as well. But then, of course, you have Kano coming in, which totally botches all this stuff and definitely brings the grade down on that level.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, yeah, it's one of those things. It's tough to talk about in terms of, again, objectively, because like it is really bad. It's a very bad show, but there is that connection and to it that I can't pretend it's not there. And again, also like I said, the first time I was on here on the Sub-Zero Smoke episode, where it's like I do grade on a curve. I mean, maybe it's not the right thing to do, but it's like for you think, oh, here's a kid's show based on Mortal Kombat. Like you expect it, and it is shitty, but it's not as shitty as I would think it would be.
Right.
So I give it some credit, and I think and honestly, like it's the best Kabal outside of the games. In some ways better than some of the games. Like I saw, your Deception walkthrough and stuff like that. I thought he was kind of lame. Find me a map, like.
Oh yeah, I never gave him that map, did I?
Yeah, you did.
Yeah. Well.
But who gives a shit? But I think it's like one of the best versions of Kabal, including the games, actually. Because he was such a side character in every version, including the 2021 movie.
Yeah.
That this is the only one where he actually gets a chance to actually shine. Again, in the games, he doesn't get really to shine in it.
I mean, I definitely get excited when favorite characters of mine show up in other stuff. And I'm like, hey, look, it's that character I like.
It's the thing. They did the thing. Yeah, exactly. We're easy marks.
Right. Corey, you got anything positive to say about this one?
It was okay.
It was fine.
I was maybe a bit more down on it in the conversation, but like, I don't know. It was all right. It just did not leave an impression at all.
No,
that makes sense.
It didn't feel like a waste of time. I think there was enough here. Like this wasn't a bad episode. We're hard on all of these. We were also grading on a curve, though. Like,
yeah, for sure.
They're yeah. I wouldn't skip this one if I were going to rewatch this series. But just so you guys know, after we finish this podcast, I'm never watching this fucking series again.
It's between you and me.
I'm not. I'll be done. I'm done. I'll be done with it after this.
You say that now. But...
Oh yeah, and we got 2 more episodes left, and that's it. 2 more episodes, and we're done with Mortal Kombat: Defenders of the Realm.
Yeah.
As we announced on an earlier episode, we can't end the podcast that way. So we're going to talk about other watchable Mortal Kombat stuff once we finish this journey through the Threshold timeline.
I don't even have to say that I'm not watching this show ever again because people can figure that one out for themselves. I don't think anybody thought that was the cards.
You're not even going to just delete it off your iPod. You're going to throw your iPod away
out of spite,
just to get it out of here. And anyone out there who's listening who's a big fan of Defenders of the Realm, by all means, keep loving it. We're sorry.
I'm
not that sorry. I'm a little sorry.
I mean,
there's no one. I don't know if there's anybody who like. I mean, maybe I'm wrong. I'm gonna get emails or
somebody just spiked their Zune into the ground and is crying the hardest they've ever cried. They are shaken up.
Well, yeah, they just broke their Zune, dude.
But it's so well made. Maybe it wouldn't even break if they threw it on.
My Zune is safely on the other side of the room.
Yeah.
But the Zune is so robustly made that it bounces back with but a scratch.
Exactly. But yeah, and I'm the only one who's seen it multiple times. I've seen this show now, at least some episodes, at least 3 or 4 times.
Yeah, I've probably seen the early ones maybe 3 or 4 times each.
Yeah.
But then I stop because I'm like, yeah, I'll throw this on. That'll be fun for the afternoon, and I'll be like, yeah, it's enough. I'm good.
The afternoon's ruined.
Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah, anyway. let me get my whiskey and get my Mountain Dew and liqueur.
And pop on Poison Ivy, the new seduction,
and then make a Poison Ivy drink.
Have an afternoon.
Yeah.
So should we get out of here? What are we gonna do? Should we
go to the opera?
Should we go to the opera?
Sure.
Yeah. All right. Damion, you're up first. What would you like to tell the audience about?
Yeah, so I remember last episode I was on, I was saying that I was trying to get distribution for my feature film that I directed called Damion Champions, which the elevator pitch is Mortal Kombat meets The Big Chill. It's an independent dramedy that I wrote, produced, directed, acted, and edited and shot.
Yeah.
But it's not on Amazon Prime. It's actually, so if you look it up, if you're in Britain or America or the US, you're able to look it up, our Reunion of Champions on Amazon Prime, and you can watch it for free. Or you can pay, like, I think Neil bought it for me, which is really nice of him.
Yeah, I bought it.
You can watch it for free if you want.
Just go buy it, everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you can. So that's about it, though. I'm working on some other stuff. I'm working on hopefully my next feature, but it's very early pre-production, and
Sure.
and working on some other stuff to pay the bills, like editing and things like that. But for right now, that's my big thing right now. I'm kind of taking a break, and then I'll move to the next project sometime by the end of the year, hopefully.
Nice. All right, everyone, go watch Reunion of Champions on Amazon Prime. Corey, what's going on with you, buddy?
Just sort of making my way through life. No,
Yeah.
I'm just...
I'm sorry.
No. I'm just kidding. They made another one is the thing that I usually talk about here, and that trend's not ending anytime soon.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, thank you. Sequels, reboots, remakes. We talk about it on this other show with my friends Liam and Mitch. When is this one coming out?
Tomorrow night.
So we talked about Sex and the City 2 with two friends of ours for a very long time because that movie's got problems. And you can find that at They Made Another on Twitter, or They Made Another one on all your podcast services of choice. And then I'm at Mr. Corey Price on Twitter.
That's one thing of the Middle East, right?
Yes.
Yeah, they sure do, dude.
They sure fucking do.
They
now.
sure.
Oh,
they sure do.
Christ.
And it's definitely it's definitely not racist.
No.
Ugh.
The most sensitive movie
The
ever
most
made.
culturally sensitive movie ever made by human hands.
You can find me on Twitter at Final Neil. Follow my retro gaming collection Instagram page at Final Neil Retro. Follow the show on Twitter and Instagram at MK Podquest. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Actually, the Warrior King crossover videos are going up there now. Part 1 is out. I think Part 2 will be out by the time this is out too. So go check out our thoughts on some other cartoon shows. Rate and review us 5 stars. Subscribe in your podcast app. If you want to be ridiculous,
waste your money on us if you want.
Make me read Sabrina the Teenage Witch comics on Twitch, ko-fi.com/mkpodquest. And I have been doing a little bit of live streaming, Mortal Kombat themed live streaming on both our YouTube page and my Twitch page. That's twitch.tv/FinalNeil. Playing through the Conquest mode in Deception. I'll be moving on to Armageddon after that. I don't have like a set schedule, just whenever I find the time. So yeah, go check that out. And that's it.
Yeah.
Let's we should kick our jets and jam before this subway tunnel explodes and does absolutely no damage or puts us at any risk at all, but does really kind of screw up an unhoused person's dwelling.
Out of spite, no less. It's extremely cool of them.
Yeah.
Welcome to California.
Yeah.
If you think about it, it's all Shang Tsung's fault. Because when Jola got weak, Kung Lao and Zero could have, ended her, but he pulled her back into the mines and then just left her there. She got out sometime in the future. And now Kabal doesn't have a house.
Yeah.
It's fucked up, dude.